Good afternoon, everyone. Apparently, I must have been 5 minutes too late before you all got a plate. So if you don't mind, if you all would just please let's give the Lord a little bit of respect here while before we continue to partake in the food. I first just want to begin by saying thank you for the opportunity to be on to honor these individuals here tonight for their accomplishments, and may their example be a beacon for the generations to come. So if you don't mind, let us all bow our heads and give thanks to the Lord. Lord, we ask you for your guidance and your wisdom as we celebrate these individuals. We thank you, Lord, for these awardees who have given much of their time and lives to shape their communities for good and using their opportunity and giving them a blessing for all. Dear Lord, we'd like to thank you for providing us with the nourishment. We are grateful for your continuous provisions and the hands that prepared this meal. And we partake in this food, may it strengthen our bodies and energize our spirits. Bless this meal and our fellowship around this table. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Right. Continue.
We have some incredible people here. I want to welcome all of you here. As Douglas Gant, I appreciate him speaking to the Lord. I want to welcome all of you, and certainly with respect to any of you and all of you, I would welcome you in the name of Jesus, and certainly respect everybody's faith. That is mine, and I believe we've been praying for this since last year, and I believe He's brought all of you here, and I want to welcome you here. It starts with you. This is about leadership. It's about honoring great excellence. There is some incredible influence in this room, and we just really appreciate you being a part of it. Now, this Hall of Fame family is a family, and we welcome back the Hall of Famers every year. And so there's a lot of them that have come back, and so I want to have hold your applause till the end. I want to recognize the Hall of Famers that I have seen here. And if you will, when I call your name, stand up and remain standing, and then we'll give them a big round of applause at the end. So, class of 2013, Coach Danny Ford. Coach, please stand up. Willie Jeffries, Coach Willie Jeffries. George Rogers. That's the class of 2013, and then from the class of 20, keep standing. Y'all stay on your feet. Class of 2017, Charlie Brown. Class of 2018, John Abraham. Class of 2019, we have Bobby Bryant. And we have the grandson of the late Dode Phillips. We got David Phillips back there in the back. Thank you for standing in for Dode. The class of 2021, we have Jeff Bostick. We have Dwayne Harper. We have Rick Sanford. Class of 2022, Mike Ayers, Brad Edwards, John Gilliam, Stanford Jennings, and Joe Bostick. I want to congratulate the class of 2022 because they have their entire class here. That is awesome. Class of 2023, we have Terry Allen, and we had Harold Green. I saw you sneak in. Thank you and welcome back. So Terry Allen and Harold Green. And then Humanitarians of the Year, Ramon Robinson, and my friend Paul Kennemore couldn't make it, but I just talked to Paul and he said to give his love to everybody. He's suffering from Parkinson's disease, and he said, Wyatt, the Parkinson's just has me, so I'm at the lake, but he's here in spirit. So please put your hands together and give these guys. It's so awesome to see you guys back, so welcome back and thank you for being here. We do talk about honor belonging to the Lord, and I also want to, if I could, take just a minute to thank our sponsors, people that value excellence. And so thank you for Spinks. Spinks has been a long-time supporter of ours, and we appreciate you. Ellison Kibler, Merrill Lynch. We have Gordon Whitaker and Austin Works representing Wyatt Law and Wyatt Sports and Entertainment. CDS Fundraising. Thank you, David Phillips and CDS. Prominence Media. We really appreciate Brian and Jeter. They've been helping produce this event since its beginning, really. I think you guys weren't there in the first year. After the first year, it looked like that was like a 1940, camera that we recorded that first year with Coach Ford. You remember that one well, I'm sure. And, Coach Ford has been to every one of these except one. And I think you said, David, the hay was in the field and the rain was coming. So we're glad you got it up this year. Let's see. So thank you, Prominence and Aligned Brand, Christina Durkin and Darrin Gray with Aligned. They've been incredible. You'll be hearing from Darrin, and you probably already met Christina. And of course, the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame team, Mikey Football, Mike Foster. You've done an incredible job. And we've got Ann Wyatt, of course, my wife and bride, and she's back at my table back there with my daughter Gibson in Virginia, and my mom and dad Charles and Sabra. And I really appreciate family being here. This is about family, and so it's fitting that my family is here. So thank y'all for being here. I want to thank the interns that worked with us so hard, and of course the board of directors. We appreciate Lisa, Rodney, Brian, David, and you guys have been amazing. And this event is it's a special event, and those of you that have been here, you know it. That's why you're back, and we want you to keep coming back. We're going to try to grow this thing and continue to grow it. We're winning from the beginning. That's one of the things that we talk about. And our opening monologue speaker tonight is he was here from the beginning. He is one of the most influential people in America. He was the first NCAA Division I African American head coach in America. He's got so many accolades, I'd be up here all day long. I'm out of time. So without further ado, put your hands together and welcome Willie Jeffries.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got that flag?
Yeah, I got my flag. Thank you very much, David. Douglas Gant, are you a Baptist? Long as you took up here doing the invocation, you've got to be a Baptist. I rode up here with Coach Buddy Pough and Ms. Joseph Pough, and we were late. We were late because everybody else on spring break, but these guys taking a class. Buddy was late. Big tackle copying off another boy's paper, and the teacher had 50 questions, 2 for each correct answer. 50 times 2, that's 100. But the smart boy missed 1 question, and Big John copying off of him. And for number 10, the smart boy wrote, "I don't know," and Big John wrote, "I don't either." So Coach Pough has a saying, never copy one person's work. That's plagiarism. Copy off of 8 or 10, that's research. Some of you didn't get it. I have a few housekeeping things to do today. They just don't put me up here. We have a lot to do to get this together. Pay attention to Brad Edwards when he comes up. Pay attention to the bridge builders, because he'll let you know how we rank in America for college readiness with males coming out of high school. So pay attention to that. We need more members to help us out with it. I want to congratulate the Hall of Famers, the team that put this together, David Wyatt and his group. We congratulate them. They are a team. You can pitch a no-hit game, but it's just another loss if the errors of your teammate puts a runs across. You might be a brilliant runner, pass with easy grace, but you miss the winning touchdown if just one teammate is out of place. So in the sporting world of business, at the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame or a mill, nothing can produce a winner like a little teamwork, Will. And they put this together, and all of the inductees tonight, you've been a member of a team. The support group, men and women, you've been a member of a team, and we certainly appreciate you being here. Now, my wife wouldn't let me wear my Hall of Fame coat, the college football. She said, that's country. That's what she said. Charlie Brown wears heels. He played. But anyway, I've been with Mary. We've been married 63 years. And I tell all the young people how to do it. Mr. Clyde Wren told me how to do it. Go to dinner twice a week. Dim lights. Soft music. Good food. She goes on Tuesday, I go on Thursday. Here there'd be a fight if we both eat the same night. Okay, all of you might catch a cramp, but the ones that are able, please stand up because you need a little exercise. Not you, Clyde, you can sit. All of you, please stand up. Y'all stand up. Y'all speak on English. Stand up. Yeah, everybody stand up. Okay, you find them. You need to loosen up. Move one step to your right. One step back to your left. Now sit back down. Y'all know why I did that? When they asked how was the program, y'all gonna say it really moved me. Some of you didn't want to. Some of y'all just don't want to do it. Okay, we gave each inductee, we have 5 inductees and we have two other honorees. We gave each inductee 9 minutes. 3 for the presenter, 1 to show a clip, and 6 for the inductee. Coach Ford, that added up to 9, didn't it? 6, 1, yeah. He bailed and hey, he didn't know. Okay, so inductees, if you can't do it, oh Lord, my notes fell on the ground. I got a joke about that, but I don't have time to tell it. If you can't do it in 6, thank you, David. You get it. You're gonna get it. The Gettysburg Address was 272 words. Some of y'all didn't know that. Any history teachers? It was 272 words. Took Abraham Lincoln maybe 3-4 minutes, and then 4. So we're giving you 6 minutes. So if you don't do it, then you got to get the flag. But I think you'll make it. Now the only ones that exempt are Coach Carlin's daughters and one other one. I'm exempted them. But everybody else you're going to get. So thanks to all of you, and let's continue with the program, and I know you all will enjoy it. Thank you so much.
This next gentleman that I'm going to bring up here is a gentleman named Darrin Gray. Darrin is a friend of mine that Mikey Football, he was working for Tony Dungy, and I was trying to get Tony Dungy to help with something, and Mikey connected us. I met Darrin, he's from Indianapolis. I met him at the Combine, and I remember when I walked up to him, I shook his hand, and he said, man, this is going to be big. And I looked at him, I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't think he knew what he was talking about. But, you know, a year later, I went there. He introduced Tony to one of my clients, got us in a prayer breakfast, and has taken that gentleman under his wing to help him be a coach. And I've been able to spend a good bit of time with folks like Tony Dungy because of Darrin. Darrin has been advising us for about 10 years. He gave me this book. He co-authored this book. It's called The Jersey Effect. The foreword is by Tony Dungy. All of the tonight's Bridge Builder Excellence Award nominees are getting a copy of this book. This book is one of the best books about a role model, and he signed it for me basically February 2015. It says, David, academic, athletic, social, spiritual, we are all role models to someone. Darrin Gray. And then here we are all this time later, and we have some role model programs that are in effect here in the state of South Carolina. And I'm just excited and want you to put your hands together and welcome my good friend, Darrin Gray.
Thank you, David. Hey, Willie. That was moving. That was good. Gang, I'm Darrin Gray. I'm from Indianapolis, and I love South Carolina. In particular, I love the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame because the standard is the standard. You know what that standard is? Excellence. And I see it played out time and time again with the Bridge Builder Excellence Program and a new program that we're fixing to launch. I use my southern language there. We're fixing to launch, and that program is called the Leadership Minute, and we're going to have an opportunity to revolutionize how it is that we communicate with elementary school kids throughout this state. There's over 700 public schools and about 300 private schools. All of those are going to have an opportunity to receive a message from the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame that will encourage them with a character leadership message to make sure that we're sending the right message on behalf of the Department of Education. But before I tell you about that, I want to tell you just a second about who I am, why I do what I do, and then I'm going to show you a little bit about the Leadership Minute. So I wrote a book called The Jersey Effect. Y'all are welcome to it. I've got some copies here today. If you'd like to have one, I'd be happy to autograph one for you. But I talk about things in that Tony taught me along the way because I studied his championship season. We've got the first NCAA head coach that was a black man that was Division I. Well, Tony was the first black coach to win a Super Bowl. Pretty special, right? Taught me a few things. I studied him the whole entire season, had his permission to follow along. He taught me about little things like the ball boy test. Now, what on earth could that mean? This one's for Kyle in particular, because you know that there are 11 Gamecocks and there are 6 Clemson young men that are all draft eligible, all at the combine. I think South Carolina led the country in the number of people that were at the NFL Combine in my hometown just a few weeks ago. That's an aside. And yes, they all have spectacular athletic talent, or they wouldn't be there. But many of them have athletic, social, spiritual, and all of the kind of talents that really lift them up. And what Tony would do that was particularly special is he would call the teams of those players that are the ones that he thought he would draft, and he would find out how it is that they treated the ball boys. And if they treated the ball boys with respect, then he figured that person had some spiritual fiber, some character, some leadership, and some values. And these are the kind of young men that he wanted on his team. He forged a team which ultimately went on to win the Super Bowl. It wasn't his greatest team. His greatest team perhaps was that team that John Gruden took to the Super Bowl. Who knows? But the point is, there was a lot going on with that. It was a lot about influence. That's what I write about in The Jersey Effect, because extraordinary leaders aren't just extraordinary because they do extraordinary things. They're extraordinary because they're willing to do the ordinary things better than anyone else. They're willing to show up, do the little things, and encourage the ball boy along the way and all the whole ecosystem around sport. So I hope that y'all are aspiring to be the kind of mentor leaders right here at the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Ceremony, where something special is happening. But I got to ask you a question. What the heck is an enshrinement anyway? You ever thought about that? So I got to study it just a little bit. It's an act of placing something in a revered or protected place to preserve its lasting value. And you know what? By the end of tonight, we're going to have 60 men that have been inducted into this South Carolina Football Hall of Fame for that lasting value. But I'm going to bring a little Pericles up behind that. That was 500 years before Christ. Pericles said this: most of us ultimately won't leave behind something engraved on a stone monument, but what we will leave behind is woven in the hearts and the lives of others. So what are you doing today to weave into the lives of others and to be that influence? Because we're all a role model to somebody. There's no denying it. Are you going to be a good role model is my question to you. And that's what the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame is ultimately advocating for, to be about excellence. And we're going to do that for youth all over this state. So if I could play a quick clip that'll give you a feel for the kind of work that we're going to lay down in the beta stage. That'll be 20 of these that'll go into the school systems. Let's do that now. This is the Leadership Minute.
Everybody, I'm Caroline. And I'm Stevie. And that's Sammy. Hey everybody! And you're watching the Leadership Minute, where we get a chance to talk with some of your favorite leaders in South Carolina. We're so excited to announce we're going to be doing this brand new series of cool videos and it's all about football. I love football. I know. Touchdowns, touchbacks, picks, sacks, blocks, blitzes, Hail Marys. Yes! We all love football here at the Leadership Minute, but guys, it's not just us talking about plays. We will be talking to some of the great coaches, players, and people in and around football in South Carolina. Oh man, this is gonna be so epic! Yes, but they are also going to be talking about so much more. Things like integrity, perseverance, and courage. Things that help everyone become the best at what they do so that we can all become great leaders. The Leadership Minute is going to be awesome! We're going to be talking to leaders from high schools all around South Carolina, as well as colleges like Clemson, South Carolina, the Citadel, plus players in the NFL. Wait, time out. We've got high school football, Clemson, Gamecocks, and the NFL. The NFL? I know, it'll be the greatest. How is this even possible? I mean, what's going on here? Every week, great people in South Carolina will be teaching all of us the value of leadership. Get ready. Let's kick off the Leadership Minute.
So how about a round of applause for the Department of Education's partnership with the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. Gang, thanks for letting us preview what it is that we're all about. We're going to have 20 of these messages that will be embedded in schools. If you have schools where you have influence with educators and you want to make sure it gets embedded into their curriculum from age 6 to 12, then you can send a note to us at the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, and we'll do what we can to make sure that that gets embedded so that we can be winning from the beginning with hard work, hope, and healing. Because truth is, we got some healing to do. We got some hard work to do. This state right now is 32nd in readiness for college. We don't get passing grades with a lot of things, and we thought about what we could do to make a difference. We've got the BeABridgeBuilders Excellence Award, which you're going to hear about here in a minute. We've got some new awardees that we'll have, and in fact, I'm going to be at the state capitol again on May the 9th to help recognize many of the young men from that class, to have fun with that in the Department of Education and Charter School Association. But what I wanted to tell you is that we wanted to start early. We figure if we could start winning early, we'd have a chance of winning the battle of the hearts and the minds with these character and leadership educations to help make a difference, to see what we could do to get our young people college and career ready by 2030. So there's a great movement going on. The South Carolina Football Hall of Fame has been called up by the state to help make a difference and play its part. And see, we have an unfair advantage in the marketplace. There's a lot of nonprofits in the state, and they're all amazing, I'm sure, but we got our unfair share of media. Did you guys see the number of TV cameras out there today because of guys like Kennard and others? We're thankful for what that's all about. We appreciate all the media that was here today and all of the award winners that came back to help share with us. And so we're going to leverage that unfair advantage. We're going to produce great media. We thank you for the Prominence Media team, which is helping to do this. Bruce, give a wave here. Come on. He's not even going to do it. He's not even listening to me. But this team right here is helping to bring it together to make something special happen. So, gang, it all starts with you. This coalition of the willing that we're building here at South Carolina Football Hall of Fame is going to make a difference. We need your help. And here we go. So thanks for listening to what I had to share about the Jersey Effect today. I'll be back up a little bit later to tell you a little bit more about what you can do to pitch in and help as we look to make community connections to help continue to inspire excellence. Because what's the standard? The standard is the standard. And in South Carolina, the standard is excellence. We got it. Thank you, gang.
Thank you, Darrin. That was excellent, my friend. So now we're talking about the Bridge Builder Excellence Award. Now this award this is a role model award, and we have 58 nominees this year across South Carolina. They are incredible young men. They are role models, and that staff, Levon Kirkland, who was supposed to be here tonight, he couldn't make it. He's the one that helped us start this thing. Levon said, Wyatt, we're 43rd in the country in college and career readiness. Our kids are getting left behind. Man, I'm Levon Kirkland. I've never been satisfied being in the bottom 10 in anything in my life. We should be in the top 10. I was like, top 10? I said, Levon, how do you expect to get to the top 10? He said, we're going to educate, encourage, and empower excellence in ourselves first and then in everybody else. And so, that's what we've done. When we were growing up, if you had good grades and you played football, you were kind of hiding that fact. Today, these young men, a lot of them in the Bridge Builder Excellence Award, they are making great grades. They've got incredible grades, and they're doing great work in the community. I'm going to have someone else come up here and help me give out this award and talk a little more about it. But these nominees, the 58 nominees across South Carolina, let me just say this. We're going to have one winner tonight, but all 58 of those young men are winners. And that's what we're doing on May 9th. We're going to have them put on social media a picture of themselves saying, hey, I'm proud to be nominated for the Bridge Builder Excellence Award. And we're going to hopefully get you guys to help like and share and encourage them because they're doing it right. Like John Maxwell said, if you want to see more of something in the world, you should honor it. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're honoring these folks. And so let me get my good friend and member of the 2022 class, 100% presence here, to come up here and help me. He is the CEO of the NFL Alumni Association. And before I get Brad Edwards up here, I want to thank Senator Jason Elliott, who has been incredible helping get us with the Department of Education, which has really helped us get this Leadership Minute program going and all of that. And Ramon Robinson, your Humanitarian of the Year back there. Ramon's been incredible. That man is still working tirelessly. He's nominated a bunch of guys, identified a bunch of guys, so thank you. And without further ado, if you'll put your hands together and welcome Brad Edwards, CEO, NFL Alumni Association.
Appreciate it. Thank you, David. And also thank you, Aristotle. Plato. Darrin Gray. Hit us with Pericles. No, but thank you for all your work there and what you're doing. I really appreciate it. And, I've accepted a lot of tough assignments in my life. And this year might have been the toughest. I will really say that when David called me and he asked me to do something, and I said, he told me what it was, and I said, I just don't know if I can pull that off. And he said, we got this young guy, really shy. We're trying to get him to come out of his shell, and he just needs somebody like you to really work with him. And, this young guy named Willie Jeffries, I'm just really trying to get this guy, we got to get him to open up a little bit and come out of his shell, but you didn't tell me I was going to have to follow Willie Jeffries. Geez, but everybody give Willie a hand, please. Good job, Brian. Get me out of your shell. And I was actually at the DC Touchdown Club last week, and one of the awardees just kind of started going on and on and on, and I turned to the guy next to me and I said, I got a secret weapon. Next year we're going to bring up a guy from South Carolina and his yellow flag, Willie Jeffries, and he's going to throw it on the stage up here at Congressional Country Club. So, Coach, we got a job for you next year. I'll never forget, as long as I live, the last minute of Super Bowl 26. As those seconds of that clock ticked off, and I looked up, Washington versus Buffalo, we were ahead 37. Bills had 24 points. They were out of timeouts, and I knew the game was over. And as those seconds ticked off that clock, I will never forget, as long as I live, that feeling. when they started playing, I'm proud to be an American over the PA system, and I knew at that moment we were Super Bowl champions. But the reality is that we can't all be Super Bowl champions. We can't all wear a gold jacket. We can't all be all pros on a field. But we can be all pros at giving back. And that's what gives me, such delight and such honor to be a part of this award, and being a part of awarding it is that it's so synonymous and so much in alignment with what we do at NFL Alumni, which is really, at the end of the day, we are a membership organization, but we are a 501c3 that is charged with giving back. And our guys, we have so many alumni who are in this room tonight who just do amazing things in their communities and are all about giving back. And that's what this award is. This Bridge Builder Excellence Award is all about. It's greatness on the field, it's greatness in the classroom, and it's greatness in the community, in community service and giving back. And that's what I found out about the NFL. I was amazed at how charitable guys were in the locker room, but how much more charitable they are when they leave the locker room. And that's, you've heard the statistics. I'm not going to repeat them, but we've got a lot of work to do here in the state of South Carolina. It can be done. We're going to do it. And it's with gentlemen, young men like this that are going to lead this charge, and it's going to happen. And so David, thank you. Thank you to the rest of the staff here for allowing me to be a part of this and introduce these fine young men who have just, these finalists tonight for this award have just done an amazing job. Again, excelling on the field, in the classroom, and in community service. So our first finalist is a young man named Jaden Cummings, who is a senior quarterback from Somerville High School, who's going to play at Dartmouth. Please give Jaden Cummings a round of applause. Our second finalist is Connor Gooding, who is a senior tight end from Gilbert High School, who's going to play at Southern Miss. Please give Connor Gooding a round of applause. And our third finalist is Donovan Murph, who's a senior wide receiver from Irmo High School, going to play at the University of South Carolina. Please give Donovan Murph a hand. And as Donovan comes up here, I also want to thank a few people, like we've done, all of our sponsors, everyone who's in charge of putting this together. Stuart Spinks from the Spinks Company, please give Stuart a hand and everyone around him. William Sturgis and the Sturgis family, please give them a hand. Another former inductee, NFL alumni, and great Joe Bostic, and the Wyatt Law Firm for their support and the Bridge Builder Excellence Award. This is how we give this award out. 40% for football, 30% for academics, and 30% for community service. Did I get that math right? So it gives me great pleasure this year to announce the 2025 Bridge Builder Excellence Award winner, presented by the Spinks Company, to Donovan Murph of Irmo High School.
Good, y'all can hear me? Thank you. First I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without Him, none of this would be possible. Then I want to thank my family for all they have poured into me to be able to get to this point. Next, I want to thank the Irmo family / community. They've been behind me, since I've been at Irmo. I also want to thank the USC coaching staff for bringing me into the Gamecock family. Lastly, I want to thank the South Carolina Hall of Fame and all the members that were able to be here today. This award means a lot to me because it marks a pivotal moment in my career and the next step in my journey. I'm thankful to be around great people today and the relationships I've been able to build already. I look forward to continue to work toward my highest potential with everyone's continued support. Thank you.
These guys are incredible. You're going to see, we did an interview with these young men and asked them a lot of the keys to their success. And we're going to be putting those videos out between now and hopefully May 9th. So be on the lookout for them. They all did a great job, Jaden, Connor, and Donovan, and congratulations. Incredible. These guys right here are great leaders. They're all winners, and we want to congratulate you. So thank you so much. This next award really means a lot to us, a lot to me. This is our Humanitarian of the Year award. And as I mentioned to you earlier, John Maxwell is a big influence. There's a lot of influence here in this room, and that you've all impacted my life. I want to thank all of you. You know, but they said if you want to see more of something in the world, you should honor it. And that's what we're doing here tonight. And, you know, Paul Kennard, I mentioned Paul's name earlier. He was someone who inspired this award. He did so much great stuff. We wanted to honor him. And so he was our first Humanitarian of the Year. You know, we want to talk about the BeABridgeBuilder Excellence Community. This is it. Look around. It starts with you. You are the BeABridgeBuilder Excellence Community, all of you in this room. The incredible influence in this room is amazing. You know, to go back to, you know, Proverbs 29:18. Without a vision, the people perish. You know, we're making a difference through football. And I had the distinct honor and privilege, thanks to my good friends Errol Thomas and Rodney Blunt, to be an additional speaker on an event June 11th of 2018. It was called Cleats and Character. A bunch of young men that were about to go to college, and they you know, had Sabrina Greenlee as their keynote speaker. And Sabrina came up there and was incredible, and I felt like I was supposed to go introduce myself to her, and I did. And she was incredible. I was intimidated by her, but she just really was very warm, and it was something special. And we were talking about this Humanitarian of the Year award this year because we always are like, who should we give this honor to? We were praying about it, and her name came back to me 7 years later. And I called Errol. He got me in touch with Rodney. We got her number. I called her. I said, "Do you remember me?" She goes, "I do remember you." I said, "We want to honor you for the Humanitarian of the Year." And she was incredible. She said, "You know, David," she said, "I was last fall about to go on an I was about to go out and on a 3-state tour, and I was so tired I didn't think I could do it. But you know, I felt like the Lord wanted me to do it. That He saw me. He knew what I was doing." She said, "We went out 3 states. She said, we gave out over 1,000 Christmas gifts to young people. And a lot of this isn't able to be put out there because there are people that are suffering from domestic violence. So you don't take Snapchats and put that out on Instagram and stuff. So I'm going to accept this as basically evidence that the Lord does see me." And she wanted to, she said, "Thank you very much." So I am honored to have her. I think this is, I can't think of anybody more deserving of this award. She's from the football community. Her dad was a quarterback at Easley. Her brother played football at Clemson. Her son plays football in the NFL. She was a cheerleader. So if there's anybody that is part of the football community, it is this woman right here. Please put your hands together and welcome this year's Humanitarian of the Year, Sabrina Greenlee.
I want to put out a disclaimer that I'm an inspirational speaker, and they told me 7 minutes, so I'm going to really try to speak really fast. I want to thank everyone for this amazing award. It takes a village and a community to do what I do, so I want to thank everyone for just standing beside me. I want to just especially thank the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame for acknowledging all of my hard work and efforts in eradicating domestic violence. It's not easy to have the resilience and the tenacity that I have to get up every day blind, allowing the women that I service to see me as a vessel to go out and do what I do. But I feel like someone has to do it, and I just want to continue showing up in the state of South Carolina. This is my home. I am honored, and I'm humbled to receive this award. I've never received the Humanitarian of the Year award, so this is my first, and I thank you so much. I want to thank also to my mother and my father. I wouldn't be here without them. They're the backbone behind the Sabrina Greenlee, the inspirational speaker, the advocate, the dancer on Instagram. I do it all. You know, I cook, so go, you know, I do everything. But no, thank you so much. I'm humble, and I'm truly, truly grateful for this award. Thank you, David, to all the staff of the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. I'm truly, truly honored, and I don't take this lightly, and I'm going to continue doing the work in South Carolina. This is my home, and so my organization is here, and as David said, servicing 100 children. These children don't have any other means of Christmas, and so I wake up and I don't take that lightly. I'm just like, what can I do? How can I do it? I ended up doing 3 states. This year I want to do 4. Not only that, but just going into, I believe in meeting people where they are. My daughter hadn't tapped me yet, so I must have got a few more minutes. I truly believe in meeting these women where they are. It's very important to me to go into the shelters, sit down, to hold the hands, to touch them. I was a blink away from being in a shelter myself, being in 3 domestic violence assault and being abused in 3 different relationships. So I don't take it lightly. I understand the work. There's so much work to be done. But I want to thank you. I stand on the shoulders of all those women who can't speak for themselves, and I will continue being a voice for the voiceless. Thank you.
Talk about hard work, hope, and healing. This woman right here. Again, give another warm applause to Sabrina Greenlee. Sabrina, you're awesome. Your story's awesome. What's the name of your book again?
Grant Me Vision.
Grant Me Vision. Everybody get her book. I got the book, Grant Me Vision. I listened to the audio version. It is an incredible story of survival. She was in ICU. She almost lost her life. She had 40 surgeries, recovered her eyesight, and then lost it again. And she talks about that in this book, and it's funny, it's raw, it's incredible. So thank you and congratulations. And this next award is the Heisman Trophy of South Carolina. Now, if I could get a couple of very special people to come up here and help me with this. George Rogers, South Carolina Heisman Trophy winner. Come on up, George. And George, thank you for bringing that Heisman up. Brenda, we appreciate you bringing that Heisman up. And let me get, I've got another couple special guests. Gordon Whitaker of Ellison Kibler, Merrill Lynch. Now, Gordon's group, Ellison Kibler, Merrill Lynch, and Austin Works, if he's around, please come up here. And, these guys were voted the #1 financial management firm in the state of South Carolina. I think #7 in the country. They're the best at what they do, and that's what we want to do at the Football Hall of Fame. We want to associate with the best, and that's them right here. And so we've got an incredible recipient of this award tonight, and well, let me just say this. You know, South Carolina, we throw a big net. We feel like if you come to South Carolina, there's something in the water that's going to help you become a better football player. So you have to be either born here or you have to come here. George Rogers came here to play football, and he won the Heisman Trophy, and he's part of our South Carolina family. I love you, George, and I appreciate you being here. I know you don't necessarily like this, but we love it, and so thank you for doing this. And then, of course, Doc Blanchard, who's the other namesake on this trophy. Doc Blanchard was actually born in South Carolina, played for West Point, played for Army. So this gentleman that's winning this award this year, now he was only in South Carolina for 1 year, But boy, what a year it was for him. I mean, he is incredible. So let me get Coach Beamer to tell you a little bit about it.
Kyle, Coach Beamer here. Sorry I'm not there with you tonight. Wish I could have been up there, but congratulations. What an amazing honor. You meant so much to our football program from the time you got here last January through the season. The impact that you made on and off the field was huge. To be named the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, what an accomplishment for you, and what a great recognition that was for our entire football program. Thanks to the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame for this amazing honor for Kyle. Again, sorry I'm not there, but have a great night. Thanks for all you did for Gamecock football, Kyle.
Put your hands together for Kyle Kennard.
Congratulations to all the nominees for the last award, but huge congratulations to my guy Donovan back there, Gamecock. But first off, I want to start off by saying thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, I wouldn't be here. None of us would. Next, I want to thank my family. My dad's right over there with the camera. I want to thank my mother and all of my family. I have two beautiful baby boys who I also want to thank because they've shaped the man I am over these past 2 years. Next, I want to talk about South Carolina because, like you said, I was only here for a short time, but I feel like with that, people can understate how big of an impact that a place can leave on you. And before I talk about the school, I just want to talk about the people in the state. I mean, or in the city of Columbia, to be even more specific. But during my time there, I was showed immense love by everybody. Fans when they would see me out, people in the building, teachers, and everyone else that saw and got a glimpse of what we were able to do. So I just want to attest that huge compliment to this whole state of South Carolina. Next, I want to thank the school and the team. My whole time there, Coach Beamer was a great leader for me. I want to thank Sterling Lucas as well as my defensive coordinator, Clay and Wyatt, and everybody that helped me play a part here. Thank you.
I want to recognize Angie Whitaker, too. You know, behind every good man, you got a good woman, right? Thank you, Angie. All right, one more time. Kyle Kennard, Blanchard-Rogers Trophy. So this is where we turn to the class of 2024. And these are leaders that they all made an impact in the game of football, either coaching or playing. And again, they either were born here in South Carolina or they came here to play football or to coach in South Carolina. We have some incredible members coming into this class. I am honored to be here tonight myself, and please join me in honoring these class of 2024. So without further ado, let's do it.
Troy.
Congratulations on your selection to the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. Well deserved. You were a great player for me, one of the best and most unselfish players I've ever coached. You were a great receiver. You were great with the ball in your hands. You were an outstanding blocker. You returned punts, and you played defense when we needed you to. And you were the glue that kept everything together for those 3 Super Bowls. Thanks for everything you've done for me. Congratulations again. Have a great night. You so deserve it.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I have the honor today of introducing one of the electrifying high school football players in 1987 and 1988. My brother's accolades did not start when y'all see all the Super Bowl runs and stuff like that. In 1979, my brother first won a championship on his Pee Wee team when he first started learning to play football. Then he won a state championship in 1989. He won a national 1AA championship with Marshall in 1992. Then it comes to the New England Patriots, where he won 3 Super Bowls, 2022, 2024, did I got it right? But it's 3 Super Bowls that he won with the New England Patriots. I can't get my dates right. But what a pleasure to see a remarkable man that football has made him, with his family, his friends, the community, and as far as being a humble young man. We didn't come from much. We came from a small town. And what he's done in that small town, he opened the doors for a lot of colleges now to look at the small high schools and see the talent that he brought to different levels of excellence, from college to the pros, from high school to college to the pros. So I'm gonna pay for just a minute and 30 seconds, but it's my honor to give the inductee, Troy Brown. Here you go, right here, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, David. I appreciate that, man. So, appreciate it. Yes, sir. Hold that for you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank my brother for such a great introduction. He is a cancer survivor from a couple of years ago. So I want to thank the Lord for allowing him and blessing him to be here and introduce me tonight as a Hall of Famer to the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. So thank you, brother. I do appreciate that. I want to thank my mother, who couldn't make the ride up here today, but she was a great inspiration behind why I'm standing here tonight. So I want to thank Ginger Coach for being here. She is the widow of my high school football coach, Mike Coach, who kind of inspired me and helped me get into college. You know, I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going to go or whatever, but he had the knowledge, and he knew all the people in the area to actually get me into college and to get me started. Tim Moore, who is another high school coach that I had early on in my high school career. another guy that inspired me to do great things too as well. So, and I want to say what an honor it is for me to be here among so many great players. A lot of you, I grew up watching you play. I'm not trying to age you guys at all. I grew up watching you play, but it inspired me to be a great football player as well, and I want to be a great football player. I see out there now Charlie Brown, our paths cross, and that's the thing I want to talk about too, is what the connections that football actually makes across the country. I've met so many of you guys after watching you guys play, some of you younger guys watching you guys play and come out of college, but it is a connection that, and it's a small world, but our paths cross throughout those different teams and experiences that we go through. Charlie Brown, Terry Allen, who went in a couple years ago, was one of my teammates for a while. So just a wonderful experience. Coach Buddy over here actually coached the guy I went to high school with, and the guy that used to take me to all my weightlifting contests. Joe Thomas is one of the oldest football players to play college football, right? And then he turned around and coached his son too. He coached the son first, then he coached the father afterwards. So it's just crazy. It's a crazy world. So it's a small world, but it does provide connections to us for a lot of different things. So that's why I believe in this whole leadership minute thing, because I've seen the power that football can bring across the country and the connections it can make, and and the money that it can bring in and help build a better future for our children here in the state of South Carolina. Because I would put the kids in South Carolina, when it comes to playing football, I will put them up against anybody in the country, and we will come out on top. And I will bet, I think you said that we had more people at the combine this year than anybody per capita. I will put us up against anybody in the country per capita, and we'll probably come out on top. So that's how much faith I have in the kids of South Carolina, and what they can do on the football field. So, and I want to thank Bill Belichick for those kind words that he said up there about me, and one of the greatest football coaches that ever played. Taught me what it was like to be unselfish and to be a team leader and to be a captain on a football team. I see Willie waving the yellow flag over there. My minister about up. I don't want to get flagged by Willie Jeffries. I have a ton of respect for him. So I'm going to wrap this thing up, and I want to say thank you guys. Enjoy tonight. Enjoy all these honorees here tonight, and get out and meet some of these fellas who are already in the Hall of Fame, and some of these young kids that are here getting these awards tonight, and make some connection with those guys. And let's keep this leadership minute thing growing and continue to build South Carolina to be a great powerhouse that it's meant to be.
Watching that, I have to say I miss my dad. So it's more than football. It's making a difference through football. I absolutely love that purpose statement. It's stunning. I'm Molly Ann Carlin Elliott. I'm the oldest of my dad's children. He has 4 children. My brother Jamie couldn't make it this evening. He sends his thank you. My sister Melanie Carlin Casserole Gilfillan. Okay, Melanie, I'm going to make you stand up. She's also my best friend, and I'm incredibly grateful I get to be here with her tonight. Here's what happens in our family. We're all, as much as an extrovert as my dad was, we're all introverts. And so when something like this comes up, I'm the slowest. I'm the oldest but the slowest. And when we say, who's going to speak? They all go, woo! Not me! So it falls to me. But our brother Holt, who is the fourth of my dad's children, passed away in 2021. So I feel sure that he has a front row seat with Dad, sipping on a Coca-Cola and enjoying tonight from the heavenly realm. I do want to say thank you to the South Carolina Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame, their officers, David and Ann Wyatt, so kind, and Mike Foster. And I also want to thank the Board of Directors and the Board of Advisors for your recognition of our dad and for your kindness in inducting him into this amazing group of athletes. Part of the reason this is such a delightful evening for us is because, as many of you know, Dad has been nominated for the NCAA National Hall of Fame every year since 2010. And every year we call as many people as we can think of to send letters of recommendation in the effort he will be inducted. I know a lot of y'all have written letters. After 15 years, it feels like a campaign that never ends, making this evening extra delightful. Since it's been 13 years since my dad passed, and 43 plus years since he coached his last college game, I'd love to do a quick Jim Carlen highlight reel. And Willie, I would say you can call a red flag. I have 3 boys and a girl, and the 3 boys call a party foul on me all the time. Anyway, I always appreciated an executive summary, so I'll start with that. In his career as a Division I college head coach, he won 107 out of 182 games. 6 of them ended in ties. For a 61 winning percentage. He was responsible for the turnaround of 3 major D1 programs: West Virginia, Texas Tech, and University of South Carolina. I want to close with another gift, precious gift to Melanie and Jamie and I, and it is a letter from Bobby Bowden to the Honors Court at the NCAA Hall of Fame. So if you want to put that up. So I just want to read it out loud to you. It says, "Dear Honors Court members, I am writing to you to recommend Jim Carlen as a candidate to the National Football Hall of Fame. This is written on October the 23rd, 2019. I had the privilege of coaching under Jim for 4 years at West Virginia University, from 1966 to 1969. Those 4 years were the greatest coaching experience I ever had. He taught me how a coach should act. He did it the right way. I'm not going to list his numbers because I know you already have them. I believe his statistics meet the requirements to qualify him. Jim demanded all of his assistants to abide by NCAA rules. He demanded that all coaches set the example. He would allow no physical abuse or profanity to players. Jim would let you coach, but we had to get the job done. His first year at WVU, I think we won 3 games. And 4 years later, we won 10 and had a bowl bid. I coached college football for 57 years. I knew all the coaches and what they stood for. None set a better example than Carlen, though some did as well. We need role models today, and that is exactly what Jim was, Bobby Bowden. Please excuse my writing, because I just turned 90, and I have no secretary. So with that, I will call it to a halt, but I feel like it is more than football, and it is making a big difference through football. And I feel like our dad was more than football, and while on this earth, he made a big difference. Thank you.
evening to each and every one of you. Tonight we gather to honor a coach whose leadership, passion, and impact have left an indelible mark on the game of football. With over 40 years on the sideline and on the field when it wasn't supposed to be, Coach Pough has built a legacy of excellence. From his early coaching years at Orangeburg Wilkerson High School, Keenan High School, Fairfield Central High School, University of South Carolina, and South Carolina State University. His passion continues. Along his journey, he earned high school state championship during his term at Fairfield Central, record-breaking seasons at South Carolina State University. One of his highlights were beating Jackson State University in the Celebration Bowl against Deion Sanders. His career has been dedication, discipline, and a lot of heart. It's not just the wins and titles that defines him, it's the lives he changed. Coaches admire his integrity, and communities remember his impact beyond the field. This evening, we celebrate a builder of men, a shaper of teams, and a true pillar of the game. It is my great honor to introduce and welcome my husband of 39 years, I think, 38 years maybe, Buddy Pough, Oliver Pough.
Good evening. Thanks, Joe. She's recuperated. Somebody said somebody was recuperating from cancer. Joe's recuperated from marriage to me for 47 years. That's actually 47, Joe. It's been like, time flies when you're having fun, huh? I really feel old South the way you got through that deal, because she left her speech at home. So she's in the room trying to write it out, trying to script it out. And you probably would do better with this one too, so you come back and do this one here too. Thank you all for coming out and sharing with us this evening. I'm Buddy Pough, and everybody kind of knows me. I don't need to be talking about all the stuff that I did, because I guarantee you the stuff that I did do, probably most of it was responsible for somebody else anyway. So, but I'd like to thank the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame for selecting me. This class of 25, when I look around at these guys, I look at Stuckey, Brown, Duce is coming up in a little bit, Coach Carlen. I don't know if I measure up. I'm going to tell you what, I don't know if I'm worthy. But, I'm not giving this back. I'm a people. I guarantee you, I'm proud to be in a place that my head coach, Willie Jeffries, has gone before. And my high school head guy, Dick Sheridan, was before. I talked to Jim Stuckey. We had the same defensive line coach. I was a hell of a defensive line coach. They wouldn't let me. They didn't give me that respect that I had. But I digress. Yes. But I thank God for putting me in the presence of some of the great people who have come into my life. I wonder sometimes why. I look out there at people like Clyde Reed, and I think about the daggum Earl Hunters, the world, some of them kind of guys. Ernest is out there. Ernest has been my TV show guy for all these years. Ernest Robinson's there. Bill Hamilton, my card partner, Belvin Williams, is out there. My brother, Freddie. My cousin Freddie, my brother Toby. I'm gonna get that right this time. I'm gonna figure that out. And then my famous sidekick, the guy who we've gone to every game together for I don't know how many years, Gerald Get Low Harrison was out here. And then the guy who actually allowed me to retire, I actually can retire because of Ricky Left over there. He's been my lawyer for all these years. So he kind of kept me straight. You know, I can tell, I'm going to tell you who I missed. I missed my position coach. Coach Bill Davis. Bill used to come down to my office every Wednesday night after practice. We'd had practice and dinner and all that kind of stuff, watch tape, and he'd, "Can we beat him? Can we beat him?" I said, "Yeah, Bill, get him down." But, you know, he was a special guy to me. I was fortunate to be raised by two great parents. I had a math teacher and basketball coaching mama, an ag teacher and a wannabe coach dad. He wanted to be, but he was an ag man. He supported me though through all of my ball stuff. All he said though, because he really wanted me to be a farmer or a doctor. He wasn't a football coach, I guarantee you. But all he knew was that all I wanted to do was run behind the ball. That's all I wanted to do for my whole life. But you know, he stuck with me, I guarantee you. And my mom actually lived to be old. Dad died early in my career. But my mom made it all the way to almost the very end and gave me advice all the way to the very end too. So I got a bunch of family here. I talked about my people, all that kind of stuff. That's good. There's plenty of SC State folk out there. You know, I got my president. I got my board chair. Y'all heard Mr. Douglas Gant do the prayer. He's a good prayer. We need prayer sometimes, you know. My president. We got my kids out there. I've got Natalie, my daughter. She's my daughter-in-law, but at this point, we just forget about the law part. Lee's over there. My son. Y'all saw Joe already. Taylor, my granddaughter. I got two grandbaby girls. And you know what? The Lord got a strange kind of sense of humor. Bud's back over there somewhere in that line. I can't see back over there, but I think he might be over there somewhere too. My other son. So I think I'm done. And let me tell you something. I need to sit down. I guarantee you. So I am. How about that deal? Give me the sign, Clyde. You got it? I'm done. Good evening, everyone. I am here to introduce, and I want you all to follow me up, Duce Staley. I got to meet Duce in 1996. I think we're 10 years apart, and I'm going to get this out the way real quick because we got a timer here, and I'm real brief. We had a debate. With Harold was at the table, and Duce is at the table, and George is know where I'm going with this, that if I met them in the hole, they would tackle. After watching that highlight, I think Duce, you would have ran over me. I don't think I would have got you down, man. But I'm excited about here. You've seen what he's done in football. I want to talk a little bit about Duce on a personal level. And everybody knows about a locker room. Everybody knows about a locker room that plays football. There's a lot of things happen in the locker room. You have a lot of experiences in the locker room. You have loss. You have winning. You have sometimes injury. You get to know people personally. You know everything about your teammates in a locker room. I think we miss, I do, the practice, the two-a-days, the coaches hollering at us, the opportunity to play or not play. But what we really miss is that locker room feeling. And I want to tell you, Duce has kept me in that locker room for over 25 plus years. He would share with me about his goals while he was playing. I was fortunate enough to live in Pittsburgh when he won the Super Bowl. I was fortunate enough to be at his draft, and I'm fortunate enough to be here. Duce, I just thank you, man. I just thank you for being around. When you talk about a locker room, you're talking about things that no one speaks about, talks about, for most of the time. Where men are really vulnerable in a locker room. Duce Staley has been in my life when I was at a low point. He doesn't know this, but he kept me positive. He kept me up. He's so doggone competitive. You know Duce, he's so competitive. But he is a person that I'm proud to say is a good husband, a good father, a good friend, a great coach, a great brother, a great son. So as I close, I want y'all to help me introduce Duce Staley.
Man, that's awesome. I want to thank the Hall of Fame. I tell you, man, you guys got it right. This is awesome. Feels good. Since I pulled up, you guys been taking care of me. Thank you. I want to thank my sister, Keisha, for coming. I love you, baby. I love you. My mom couldn't make it, but we're going to take this trophy back to her. All right? You know, I was sitting back there thinking while Otis was walking up. I said, man, I got this speech prepared. I got some good stuff to say. And as I started walking up just now, I said to myself, I don't think it's good enough. How about speak from the heart? So I'm going to take this speech and I'm going to put it up. I'm just going to tell you a story. You know, it was George Rogers, Terry Allen, Danny Ford, Willie Jeffries, everybody, I mean, from many running backs, many coaches that made Duce. Every Saturday, I got up to watch TV, to watch one of you, trying to be like me. And I remember on my journey, you know, I'm just a kid from West Columbia, South Carolina, trying to get it right, trying to figure it out. And I was doing more talking than listening. Now I'm going to say that again. I was doing more talking than listening. And I never forget, my mom reached out to George Rogers, and my mom said, hey, George, I need help. I need you. And without a doubt, George came and talked to me. And these words were effective but simple. He said, Duce, do it better than I did it. Be better than I was. So now I'm blown away. Here's this kid from West Columbia, South Carolina, man. I'm trying to figure out my journey. You know, I'm trying to get that conference right. And here comes George Rogers talking to me, little old me. From that day on, I considered George family. And I love you, George, and I appreciate you. Thank you. And I kept just thinking about family, the word family, and what it means to me. This Hall of Fame family that I'm now a part of, let me tell you my duties. My duty is to call you. My duty is to email you. My duty is to reach out and talk to you. And sometimes knock on the door. Because you never know what someone is going through. And sometimes that knock, sometimes that call, sometimes that email for someone different matters. Because that's what mattered to me and what made me. Not going to take long, but I'm going to leave you with this. I want everybody to go home tonight or sometime within the next couple of days. And I want you to write a letter. Now, let me tell you this. This will be one of the most important letters ever written before by you. If not the most important, I promise you. I help you. Ready? Dear me, you will write this letter to yourself. And in this letter, I want you to talk about all the shit you've been through. And then read it when you feel like you can't make it through. Love y'all. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all the inductees tonight. If you haven't noticed, I'm related to Jim. I'm Brian Stuckey, Jim's brother. And just so you know, I was supposed to be the athletic one in the family. We have a lot in common, but one thing is that Jim and I are born on the same day. We're 2 years apart, June 21st, first day of summer, longest day of the year. Jim has always been an inspiration to me. His love, hard work, on and off the field, his generosity to his family and friends, and especially his blunt honesty. Growing up together from Spartanburg to Casey to Georgia and back to Casey again, Jim was always driven to succeed. He needed to be at his best. And I know he had to prove it to himself more than he had to prove it to anyone else. He has achieved these goals over and over again. It is my great honor to present to you South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, James Davis Stuckey III.
These are the only words that I'm going to say that come from me, which is I'm honored and blessed to be standing. I'm Beth Stuckey, Jim's former wife of 21 years. We're obviously still very good friends. I'm here tonight because he's asked me to be his voice. Jim was diagnosed with throat cancer 2 years ago. He's cancer-free now, but the chemo and radiation treatment... The chemo and radiation treatments took a toll on his vocal cords, and they're improving, but they're still paralyzed. It makes it very hard for him to speak and to understand. So I will read and give you his acceptance speech in his own words. You know, defensive linemen are just like wide receivers. We are divas also. You know you're really good when you know that he knows you're a badass. I want to thank my many teammates and coaches I have played with and played for over the years. Especially in high school, Coach Don Richardson from Airport High School in Casey, South Carolina, and Coach Gary Smalling, who made me believe a skinny sophomore could be really special and have my name in the college pot. My Clemson coaches, Mike Bugar, who was a defensive line coach, and Coach Charlie Pell and Danny Ford, who taught me there is no shortcut to being the best. I've been fortunate to be able to achieve all the goals I've set. To be all-state in high school, to be able to start all 4 years at Clemson, to be 2 years all-ACC conference, to be a consensus first-team All-American, to be drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in the first round, to win 2 Super Bowls, to be inducted into the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame, to be inducted into the South Carolina Hall of Fame, to receive the Order of the Palmetto by the state of South Carolina, and tonight, to have the honor to be inducted into the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. I would like to thank my family, Beth, our daughter, Mary Frances, son-in-law, Cordy, and our son, James Stuckey. My coaches, which started with Kenneth Farmer, my blue team coach when I was 8 years old in Carrollton, Georgia. My high school coaches, Clemson head coaches Charlie Pell and Danny Ford, all the way to the finish in my late 20s with Hall of Fame coach Bill Walsh of the San Francisco 49ers. My defensive line coach at Clemson, Mike Bugar, had a saying on his desk. It said, "A great defensive lineman can be measured by how close he is to the ball at the end of the play." I want to think that in football and in life, I've been close to the ball at the end of each play. There are a couple of games, both in college at Clemson and the NFL, that the 49ers were prolific. One game, Clemson galvanized us as a team as we were learning how to win. Actually, a loss in 1977, my sophomore year, as we lost to the eventual national championship team, Notre Dame, in the fourth quarter after having them on the ropes. The other Clemson game that capped off a magical 11-1 season was a hard-fought Gator Bowl in 1978, Clemson winning 17-15 over the Ohio State and the Woody Hayes Buckeyes. Yes. As far as the NFL goes, we lost the 1983 NFC Championship game to the Washington Redskins 24-21 at RFK Stadium as they kicked a last-second field goal after we had fought back from a 21-0 deficit. The most exciting game I ever witnessed or played in was the 1981 NFC Championship game in Candlestick Park. We won the game 28-27 on Dwight Clark's famous touchdown called The Catch, the most iconic play in San Francisco history. These games have shaped me and how I still look at things now, with an attitude that what it takes to win and to not ever give up. I'm very proud of all my accomplishments on the field, both personally and as a team, for that is how this game is played. And there are a couple of people that are here that I played with. From Clemson, Chip Pruitt, Joe Bostic, Jeff Bostic, and then coaches Danny Ford and Clyde Wren are here. From the 49ers, Dwayne Board and Lynn Board. I have to mention Lynn because they were 3 roommates. And Eric Wright, who's going to be inducted into the Bay Area Sports Football Hall of Fame in May. I'm most proud of the resilience of my body, mentally, physically, and emotionally, as I have battled this disease of throat cancer for the last 2 years of my life. I would not be here right now had it not been for the unwavering support from my team of doctors and staff at Trident Head and Neck Center in Charleston, South Carolina. The support of my family and many friends who have sacrificed time, energy, effort, and love to surround me. To my many friends, both close and far away, who remain in genuine touch and sincerity, and my Clemson and 49er teammates. Many of you are here tonight, including the friends from Charleston, from Table 31, from Hall, South House, and Tom and Willie Hall are here as well. I truly believe life lessons I learned on the football field have given me the strength to not give up and keep pressing forward when my body tells me enough is enough. You have fought the good fight. I am not ready to go yet. When games get tough, you have to look in the mirror and say, it won't end this way, not on my watch. In conclusion, thank you all once again, my fellow inductees, current South Carolina Football Hall of Fame members, the committee, and all the powers that be. It is my pleasure and honor to be a part of this fraternity. Fight on.
Mission always moves best at the speed of relationship. Would you look at your neighbor now and tell them how glad you are to be with them now? Just seriously, turn around to your left and right. Glad you're here. I'm going to lead you home. I'm going to lead us home. I love the fellowship happening, but I'm going to lead you home to one of the most gentlest landings that you've ever had in the midst of an ask at the end of an evening, because we need your help. Now, truth is, something special happened tonight. I've been to my unfair share of rubber chicken dinners. This was not one of those. Look around. Every seat is still filled. People are filled with energy because we captivated your head, but more importantly, we captivated your heart. Would you touch your heart for me? I'm being serious. Something happened special here tonight. We heard speeches. We heard men share from their heart that touched us all deeply. And we created a protected place to preserve something of lasting value. Yes, we enshrined some men, but we got to hear from others that shared from their heart, like Sabrina and others. And we thank you for that opportunity to share with us as we look to demonstrate what excellence really looks like. I mean, emotionally intelligent excellence that we're going to take right on out into the hallways as we cheer for each other and we continue to set ourselves up for success. But in order to succeed at the next level, the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame needs your help. And so rather than ask you to write a check, which we could use a few of your checks, and we'd like to have some conversations with you about that, I'm sure David would agree, as a sports and entertainment lawyer right here in this special state of South Carolina. Like, that's a risky endeavor, and we're glad you're here and doing what you're doing, also transactional law and all forms of litigation. Do business with each other. That's how you can help grow this enterprise. Be a part of what it is that we're trying to do and share your gifts with us. And I'm going to show you how, but I'm not going to ask for a single dollar. How about that? What I want you to do is pull up this. There are 4 of these at the center of your table. And this is difficult to do what I'm doing, but if you would just honor me by holding up that form right there. There's 4 of them. Just literally reach to the center, and I'm going to give you time to do it. See that QR code on this side where it talks about the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame? That's where you can learn more about what we're doing. We need to know educators and influencers inside school systems, because we're getting ready to revolutionize the way that we're teaching character education with the Leadership Minute. And you're all a part of that because you were at the inaugural meeting when we announced the Leadership Minute. So if you want to nominate a school, you can use that QR code. And if you've got influence with an educator, a principal, or a superintendent, would you share that with us? Now to the back. Look in the back. Most people are going to say, hey, we need your checkbook, and hey, we could use your help. But we need purpose-aligned partners. We need people, donors as well as philanthropists, that say, hey, we want South Carolina to win in the marketplace of ideas, so we're no longer at the tail end, but we're leading the way as one of the top 10 states in college and career readiness. And what David and Mikey Football have created, along with a very influential board of directors and many, many others, is something that's going to help to accomplish that. You'll find it here. But if you would click on that QR code, just humor me now. Take out your phones and touch that QR code right there. And I promise you, it's not going to ask you for money. What it's going to ask you for is your connections. We need connections to corporations, and we need connections to individuals in this community that David and Mikey Football can follow up with excellence. And I believe that you might have an opportunity to help us by sharing a name. And you can, of course, do that by emailing us or connecting with us other ways. But that's a simple way that your influence can help to join this movement to help ensure that we make a difference through football by educating, encouraging, and empowering with excellence. We want to give a special shout out to David Robinson and Hotel Hartness. What an amazing venue to host something. One of the finest venues in the Southeast, but we sold this place out. There you demonstrate the power of what a partnership with the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame can do. So thank you to David and your fine staff for making that all possible. But I'll share it with you this way in my final conclusion with the gentle landing. A man or a woman convinced by coercion is a man or a woman still yet unconvinced. But a man or a woman convinced by heart remains wholly convinced for life. So thank you for letting us convince you that this was a worthy evening. Your time has value. We thank you for that exchange. Beyond that, thank you for your connections and all the fellowship that will happen. We have the most effective social media outreach in the history of the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame tonight. Give us a round of applause. One way, I guarantee you there will be millions of impressions generated with the help of a lot of collaborators. But jump on to our website. Be sure and tag us as you go. Share your photos from the evening that you had a good time. Tag the South Carolina Football HOF, and that'll allow us to see all the goodness that is happening in this marketplace. All you need to do, you got a lot of hashtags you can choose from, but if you'll just use hashtag South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, the initials of each of those words, that'd be a blessing. And that will allow you to become the community investors that we need. So I'm going to land this plane, gang. Are you ready to have a great evening of fellowship out there? Get yourself a drink. And I'd like to bring back up David Wyatt for one round of applause for David. One of the most amazing executive directors in the country. We're grateful for him. David, why don't you bring it all the way home? Thanks, brother.
Thank you, Darrin. Thank everyone here. This has been a special evening. It really is incredible. The silent auction is about to wrap up. Louis Saggety is about to start playing again. This is a family. You're now part of our family. So God bless you. Congratulations to all the honorees. Thank you for being here. And we look forward to the future. God bless.